results is Manchester City. The Mail on Sunday, tune sick of the sight of quad-chasing City. They seem to be, I think Eddie Howe's joked about it. At least they didn't get Manchester City in the Champions League. But the time that they can meet them, I think, is in the final. Yeah. They'll probably take that. No Haaland, of course. 10 changes from the draw against Nottingham Forest, but seemingly no problem for Manchester City.
No, the most impressive aspect of it all was the fact that Newcastle had started well. They were in the ascendancy. They got the goal. And then all of a sudden, the cogs clicked, and away they went. Man City, with the incredible quality that they've got, I would have a sneaking suspicion that they might win more trophies than Arsenal.
Oh,
just in terms of the cups,
So City for the domestic cups, Arsenal win the league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think he's got the manager's got an edge about him, and I did the first leg of this. I was with Craig Hope for the first leg of the League Cup semi-final up there in January, and he just looks like he's got an edge about him. He just looks like he's got the eye of the tiger in terms of the fact that you can make 10 changes yesterday, not have the best centre forward in the world, and do that at a very, very tough place to go, I think is ominous.
Carl, he says the manager's got an edge about him. It is something that I noticed when I watched that game as well, particularly what was happening on the sidelines. And Martin Hardy, who was at the game at St James's Park from the Sunday Times, he says Guardiola's biggest fight of the evening came in his efforts to remove his winter coat. Such was his fury at a foul given to his side midway through the second half. He even appeared to square up to Lewis Smith, the fourth official, after receiving a yellow card for his rage, with fist clenched and eyes bulging. This is not a Pep Guardiola that seems to have lost his hunger, that some people might have accused him of earlier on in the season, and one that many believed, even though he's got a contract until the summer of 2027, that he might actually call it a day this summer.
Yes, I don't believe Pep Guardiola is going from English football anytime soon. Sam Lee at The Athletic wrote a fantastic piece last week about how Pep Guardiola has changed their early build-up. So you saw Rodri and Nico sort of drop deep and do short goal kicks, and Pep Guardiola explained this was sort of an attempt to break down teams that are now looking to man-mark in defence way more. And Sam's point was amazing about how the method of building up wasn't necessarily successful, but it was Pep Guardiola trying to figure things out. And one thing that's always stuck with me is an anecdote his wife gave, which is you can talk to him about something that has nothing to do with football for about 40 minutes before his eyes glaze over. I've lost him. He's thinking about football again.
40 minutes?
No, 40 minutes. It's the 32. It's 32 minutes, isn't it? It was in the book that Marty Perrinau did about Bayern Munich. It's the 32 minutes. That's what he's.
And then the eyes glaze over.
That's ages.
That's what his cut-off is.
No one can talk to me for 32 minutes without me bringing up football.
No one can talk to me for 32 seconds.
Same. I'm astonished it's that long, seriously.
But I just feel as if Pep Guardiola, sometimes he gets into these moods where even if there is an opponent in front of him, he sort of invents a new one. So he has something else to chase. Yeah. And when you have that sort of singular drive, that sort of bizarre focus on the tactical minutiae of football and how to not only get your team to be good, but also to figure out the master puzzle of how football should be played, which I think that's how he views football. I think he's going to be here for a very long time, which, as someone who doesn't support Manchester City, makes me do a big weary sigh. Go away, please.
The man's a genius. I remember I did a game when he was Bayern Munich manager. They played Hertha Berlin. I think it was November 2015. It was just before he came over. And it was one of those rare games that you could just watch and you weren't reporting on live. And that was the first time I'd seen him do that 2-3-2-3 system. And he knew Bayern Munich was so much better. And he was like, how can I entertain myself during this game? And he was working things out for him. He's like, the way he ticks over. That's what just gives me his record of winning and his ability to work things out in big games just makes me think that through the final weeks of the season, they're the ones that will just have that little bit of an edge.
Do you think they're going to win the Premier League?
What?
Do you think they're going to win the Premier League?
No, I don't think Arsenal win the Premier League, and Arsenal would be the deserving Premier League winners. But I would think it would be very If he's within 4 points before that game at the Etihad, all bets are off.
Okay.
And they've got that game in hand, haven't they?
Yeah. I mean, this probably sounds a bit bizarre to say. I think City are the most likely of the two teams to have an unexpected result, just because of the very nature of how he's still building this team together, and it's still quite new. But the talent that they've got and what he's got himself, that X factor, would make me think that they would be they're very dangerous.
And the addition of Semenyo as well in January, and Gehi as well. But Semenyo's just added that kind of hit the ground running Premier League, just joy and goals and freshness, real freshness, which is a bit awesome for everybody.
What was it you were saying, 32 minutes before the eyes glaze over? Well, I don't think that could have been the case if you were watching Wrexham against Chelsea yesterday. The Observer Sport, they say Hollywood drama. Wrexham give Chelsea a big scare. I want to just quote from the Sunday Times, actually. Jonathan Northcroft was at the racecourse ground. He says, for a moment, for a mad, raucous, was this scripted moment, Wrexham seemed headed for the FA Cup quarter-finals, and you were toying with intros like Hollywood bloody hell. But with that certain gravity football normally has, Chelsea's resources and talent pulled the tie back down to earth. I have to say, it hasn't stopped the headline writers from using Hollywood in every single headline, even though Wrexham didn't get through. But they were given an almighty fright, Chelsea, last night, weren't they?
They were, and it was brilliant to watch, just as a complete neutral. It was just fabulous to watch. And we saw a lot of the Wrexham owners, didn't we, during the course of a lot of the Wrexham owners. And if they're in the Premier League, I think there might be a bit of a backlash to that going forwards. But there's a good piece in The Observer today by George Sims that's worth a read, which talks about the two sets of American owners, but the very, very different styles, in the sense that with the Hollywood owners of Wrexham, it's very much about the storytelling. And of course, they've had that documentary, haven't they, with Disney Plus. Whereas with the Chelsea owners of Todd Boehly and Clear Lake, it's been very much a case run as, you know, a business, like a city firm, if you like, and very much from spreadsheets. And therefore, with the players and the managers, etc., struggling to create that kind of rapport and relationship with the supporters. Because as supporters who pay ticket money to go and watch their team every week, you want to love individual players. You're not thinking of balance sheets. You're thinking of, is this player going to be in my team for the next couple of years that I can really form a bond with? And your kids, and then they become heroes. And then 20 years down the line, you look back as that individual player as being your hero. Whereas at the moment, Chelsea supporters don't necessarily have that attachment. And they don't even want to start liking Liam Rosinha because, you know, how long is he going to be there? Because the model, whereas Wrexham, it's very, very different.
To quote from the piece that Jackie's just alluded to there in The Observer from George Sims, here in the flailing limbs and profound joy of Sam Smith and Callum Doyle's goal was a reminder of what Chelsea are missing under their current ownership. Ultimately, they have a storytelling problem. Lacking anything constant or substantial for fans to grab hold of and love, increasingly alienated even as the club flirts with stabilisation. And it finishes off the piece by saying Wrexham serve as a reminder that investment and feeling are not mutually exclusive, and that a good story can so often beat reality. So what are we saying here? Can Chelsea learn lessons here from Wrexham?
Chelsea won. This is a fantastic piece from Sims. But I'm like, oh, hang on here. Chelsea won it.
Against 10 men, but
yeah. Well, they all count. They all count.
Yeah, and they did win.
And yes, look, Chelsea now under Bluco feel very, very different to how they felt under Roman Abramovich. And when I talk to my Chelsea supporting friends and fans there, they talk about this sort of idea of the Bluco player trading model. And when Enzo Maresca left, there was this conversation about the sort of rift between Enzo Maresca, Bluco, and the many different sporting directors. And whatever Chelsea are doing, it feels atypical. It feels different from how other, you can call them traditional super clubs or the new money super clubs work. And it can be hard to build a connection. So Liam Rosinha has a hard problem, not just in terms of winning matches, but also to build this sort of narrative. So I guess, we now have to make a Chelsea documentary on a streaming service? Is that what we're saying now?
Yeah, maybe.